Autism is a disease that needs to be cured. Autism is caused by bad parenting. Autism is sometimes perceived as a bad thing and living life without a hope. But is that really the truth?
Aalim is my son. My background, as you can see around, I'm a surgeon. Now currently practicing in Clinical Hospital Johor. Salah apa? Aalim dah cakap yang salah. Quite interesting because I have 4 kids. People said my first 3, 2 sons and 1 daughter are abnormal. They are so obliged. They are quiet. They can sit in the car, quiet and do nothing, reading, just talk quietly. They look so abnormal. That's what people say. But Aalim looks so normal. He's naughty, shouting here and there. Looks normal compared to other 3. Yeah. The only thing that he didn't normal is when he has his own tantrum, which we feel is quite normal for normal kids. But he don't have vocabs at age of 5.
Okay, all good?
Okay. The goal of this project is to shed some light about autism, what it really is, debunk some myths and provide some solid education and awareness about this topic. And I think one of the other things is that I hope that through this project, the public and more people would get to know this population, and that together we can create a more inclusive community for these children, for these individuals, to build a more accepting community for them.
At school, he just very limited vocabs, and then most of the time we have to encourage, but it doesn't come out as a normal kids, So we consulted our friend pediatrician, and they said, why don't you just assess the hearing and so on. We did that, and then at one point our colleague, our pediatrician, observed and he said, he has not all, he has the criteria, the features of autistic. Why don't we just diagnose, no need blood investigation, we just go ahead for the next therapy. We can see the features because we do some reading also. So then we realized that actually he has all those things before. But we take it as a normal child, take for granted. Yeah. I mean, this is our fault. Me, myself, I hardly at home. I mean, being a cardiac surgeon, we look at it, and of course, there's a denial and so on. But we know that we have to start somewhere, and we have to start treating him, which I think the words of treating is not proper for him. I think we should help him. Support and so on. So that's how we involve our colleagues, which is involved in autistic, like our rehab specialists, our speech therapists, and our pediatrician to see what we can help him. So that's why we send him for speech therapy, all these therapies and so on. We send him to what we call that a special class in school, and we explain to the school that this is his condition and how we can bring the therapist to be part of the education system every day. After 1 year of the speech therapy, you can see that he starts speaking, he understand. At the same time, you explore that what is his limitation and what is his positive disadvantage and so on. I think that's a good thing that we learn from him. I think that's the biggest thing in my journey, being Aalim as an autistic son. Autistic is actually, we learn new things. Yeah. And we learn the words is human value, which I thought being a surgeon, a type A person, people call me Adli Jacky. You know what Jacky? Do lots of things. You being a heart surgeon, you run marathon, you do triathlon and so on. Yeah. But Aalim slowed down my pace and make me a proper human.
Wow. Aalim is a wonderful boy. I am working with him, I think, for about 2 years now. And from the very first day until now, I think the impression that I have of him is that he is such a kind, wonderful, talented, compassionate boy. I think this is a credit that I would need to give to the parents, for the family.
Yeah,
to
thank you.
to raise him to be such a boy like this?
Kita nak pergi taman garden.
So Dr. Ali, I have a question is that, so when you first heard about Alim's diagnosis, what was that for you? How is that experience for you?
I think it's just a normal process. What we call the first will be denial. I mean, of course, it's always denial and then acceptance, and the third is compliance to the treatment or the therapy that for her. I think when we understand that this is the situation that we are having and facing, I think I just discussed with Dr. Aida, my wife. I said we just need to skip this denial part and accept it, and we need to work on it.
2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Okay, Alim choose one. What did you choose?
Happy.
Happy. Alim happy?
Yes.
Alim happy.
I think this is the important turning point of our life, because of all the issues that we have in the family, financial issue, buying house, buying car, and so on. I think having Alim and diagnosed have a new divergent or autistic is something major and bigger than that. We are worried about his future. We are worried about how people talk about it. We're worried when your other kids doing well in school, and then we are talking, how is he going to be? I think and then at one point we just say, we just want to make him happy. I think if he's happy, then we are happy. And of course, to be more independent when we are not around in future.
Kita nak pergi mana?
Garden.
Garden kat mana?
Garden kat hospital Abah.
Mana hospital Abah?
Ni kan hospital Abah. Phone lah.
Mikrofon.
Ada bunyi tak? Careful. Ajin stay there. Nanti
Ada bunyi tak?
Ada. Nanti dia record. Okay?
Okay.
Just stay there. Alim jadi actor hari ni.
How did you navigate those expectations from, say, family, community, society about Alim's diagnosis?
I think the most important is our expectation. I think that's most important, because you can't change other people's expectation. Because they have their own ways of thinking and their thought. For ourselves, initially, although we thought we can give everything so we can make him normal, we want to make him like a normal people, then you understand it won't be kind of things that you're going to accept or going to be happen in the future. But the expectation is, as I told just now, we want to make him happy and be independent. And of course, him being part of our family, and he make us proud. I mean, being him as a autistic son, actually is making us proud. Actually, we've gone through lots of things. Although what we see is a small improvement from him, but we just feel the proudness, because he's changed from cannot handle this and can handle things and so on. It's small things, but you cheer it every day. You make it like a celebration when he can achieve something great. Although you don't think it's big before, but it becomes so huge for him. I think that's we can do on ourselves. But on family expectation, because you have I will say that my family and my wife's family we are very close. And then we tell them, we explain to them, we show them how we want to treat Alim. Because maybe Alim is among the youngest in the grandchildren group. So everybody looks like looking at him and play with him and so on. So maybe an advantage on our side to explain, and it's more acceptable for other family members to make him part of our family. So initially, when during the earlier time, he always so tantrum. So people like, what happened? And keeps crying, shouting, and so on. So eventually, my family members, close family members, understood, and then supporting. They come over treat.
And in your own words, how would you describe this son of yours? What are some of his strengths?
It's difficult, There's so many things to describe him.
Yeah.
But I just, one word I would say is diamond. For me.
What are some of the strengths that you see in him?
He never putus asa. He never, if he wants something, he will work on it.
Yeah.
I mean, in his way, either tantrum or crying, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how he does. And then I admire that. And then he worked on to it. And then along the way, what he improve on that kind of when he wants it, he work for it.
Yeah.
It's actually, I would say, the politeness. He developed that kind of profile for him. There's the sweetness of having him, because you see how he improved from, I would say, rude before to become polite. You being a lecturer, you being a doctor, you being a so-called A-type person, and you deal with other people. And when you see your kids don't have what you want to be, it's quite painful in a way. But when you see the progress, you see the improvement, then you know it's something that you need to cheer off. It's to celebrate.
Yeah. Is there one story or an experience that you can think of about you and Alim?
Alim, I have question.
What?
Ada teka-teki.
Macam mana?
Buah apa yang paling banyak rambut?
Rambutan.
Okay. Buah apa yang banyak duri?
Durian.
Buah apa yang biji dia dekat luar?
Orange.
No.
Alim tak tahu.
When I joined Gleneagle in 2023, I was in Johor.
Yeah.
And I bring Alim to here. So actually we spend time together. Me alone, me and Alim in Legoland almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And we walk around, and then he's away in Kuala Lumpur. I was already in Johor. There are things that I miss actually. For example, how brave he is to come forward. There is an occasion in the Legoland. They have some sort like aerobic with music and dancing. And he just come forward and dance. Saya kata, wah beraninya dia. It's so brave. Kata, I won't do it. Even myself, I won't do that.
Yeah.
But he just can dancing, and he follow it so smooth. And he like the song, and we put the song in our compilation in Spotify. In Spotify, we have one album. We call it Alim's. And then all the songs that he likes, we're going to compile on it, so we can play it during our our travel or something, whatever, when in our. And the song is Rasputin. Rasputin, Bonnie M. It's an old song. But anyway, that's dancing kind of. I was surprised. How can he so brave come forward and dancing there?
Yeah.
So when you see some sort like new things to him, that's a real moment for you.
Tak berpuasa hingga sebulan apabila Syawal berjelma, hari raya disambut dengan gembira.
And a lot of children with autism struggles with mental health conditions, and I would say that Alim is the happy kid that he is because
That's what we hope.
Yeah, he's so supported. And I'm very curious, what are some of the practical strategies or any advice on how to educate family members, especially like elders or even siblings, on how to tell them or educate them on, like, if there's a family member that has a diagnosis of autism?
Yeah, I think it's challenging, especially if you have the family with, I'm not saying non-educated, but non-exposed background of this kind of situation. But you have to be frank, because this is not something common, although it's more common.
Yeah.
Last time there was a term, they get budak ni, they just use gila, tak betul, biol, that kind of trademark, which is very insulting, I would say. But when you say to a friend, this is the situation and he needs support, I think it's about just awareness and tell them this is the situation and he needs support. And he's my son, this is your grandson, this is your he's your cousin, he's your brother, he's your sister. I think in a way, maybe I would say that our family is very supportive, yes, and we have the environment that supporting, because both my parents are teachers, and even my mother actually the chairperson for a special children group in her kampung.
Oh.
And so you're quite aware of this thing.
I see.
And both of my wife parents also teachers. So I'm sure being a teacher, so you have the privilege to see issues among your students. And last time you call this group of people as lembab.
Yeah.
not pandai, or the word bodoh, or special class to slow learner, that kind of brand they put on this group. And now they understand this is not just slow learners, but their issue need to be settled. And it's not just teaching them ABC. You need to comment on both. I mean, more than that. So it's not make them to be excel in school, but how want to make them live in real life, because they have their own life. Make them struggle in their life is, I think, it's not fair.
Hai.
Abah lagi?
Abang minum HIV.
Oh, HIV is our family. You don't want to keep it at home forever. You want to make him live the life, and so on. So I think that's the first step. We want to bring him to public. So that's the challenges. For example, that weekend we're supposed to spend time with him, but my wife is on call, I'm away for meeting and so on. So you prime that weekend months before that. So you tell him, okay, this weekend you won't be around and so on. So it's like a story what's going to happen, because he's remember things. He remember dates, he remember time. And he keeps saying that, Ibu, do you remember on 15th January? Dia kata, we can't remember. Oh, you're going to Kuala Lumpur. You know what happened to that time? Because he didn't spend time with us. On 15th January, we didn't remember that, but he remembered that. So that kind of thing, I mean, that's how sensitive they are. It's rather heartbroken, when you know that he's sad because you can't commit on something. That's why we try to provide the preparation for him. When we know we want to leave him, we can't spend time with him, because this group of kids, they have very structured, very fixed-minded. If they want to get it, they want to get it. If on this date you have to do it, you have to do it. And that's why they keep asking and tell the same thing again and again. Aalim, bikin sampah dulu. Abang warna kuning ke?
Aku warna hijau.
Abang warna hijau.
Ini Alim.
Okay, Aalim warna kuning. Okay, abang warna
Hijau.
okay. My God. Because already fixed there. But on your part, you have to understand that and prime him that, oh, this is going to be changed within weeks and so on. So we do things and we see improvement. Of course, being a doctor, you are concerned about hygiene. Being a Muslim, you are considered about praying and so on. So you can't tell him just like you tell other kids, your son and your daughter, okay, do it, they will do it. But for him, you have to repeat again and again, teach him do the correct way. And you have to remember, he's a child. So he has this naughty part of it. He want hanky-panky part of it. He has it. So in a way, it's fun. It's not you're having fun with it, but in a way, he has his laziness. That kind of attitude. Being a child, so you have to deal with it. You have issues with his so-called fixed-minded. You have his childish things, and you have some extreme part which is tantrum and so on. So I think that's the challenging part. That's why I said earlier on. What he taught me is the human value, because you are not treating the disease, and he's not disease. We are looking at a person, a human being. So you have to treat him well. So what he draws is actually the person's favorite color.
My lovely's family.
Okay.
I love that what you said, that autism is not a disease. It's really not a disease, and this is one misconception that a lot of people have. But speaking of that, are there any misconceptions about autism that you like to debunk?
I think you should keep in mind that not everybody the same. That's one. And secondly, we shouldn't fix their future to be like other normal people. To be doctor, whatever, professional, and do things that can get salary monthly kind of thing. No, you can't accept them. There are people who can actually be being productive, and we should allow them and expose them to things that they like to do it. They are good at it, and do it. And then you have people good in painting, singing. Aalim singing the things, but we're still exploring. I mean, we want to see what is really is patient, is patient. Then we want to explore and we want him to commit on that. Then of course he's going to contribute to our society, to the to the nation and so on. But we must allow him to explore. You must allow the space for him to to expand and so on. In a way, it's challenging because I'm a bit pity with people who have no financial backup. Make the journey will be difficult on the both side, to the kids and to the parents. On my side, I feel privileged because you are a doctor. You see this, you can read, you can talk to other people, you can make him understand. But people who don't have this privilege, they are struggling with this situation.
Yeah. So speaking of that, how do you determine what kind of support and education that Alim needs?
Oh, this is challenging actually because we don't have a, you don't have the mainstream curriculum for him.
Yeah.
Actually, from the start, we have been exploring, we asking, and we read, and we ask with our colleagues and experts what is the best for him. And we see various way, various therapies, various curriculum, and it's costly,
Yeah.
It's costly, and we don't know either it's going to work or not because autism, they have their horizon of spectrum from extreme, from mild, moderate, and so on.
Yeah.
So eventually we understand we just need to see what's the problem. We handle it by one by one. One by one.
Yeah.
Speech, go speech. And then with our normal therapies, we go to on behavior. So today we want to talk about what we call that proposition, then just talk about proposition. So we support for 1-2 week, teach him at home with proposition, which being preceded by our therapist, teach him the proposition during the session. And so we work together with our therapist. So now issue is like, for example, Alim always shouting. So how do you want to handle that? So they make like story not to shout, kan? About the things and so. And then at the same time, when he finished the session, so we support him with those kind of way. So you can see that the improvement. Maybe all the expert around the world talking about it. We have conference, we have meeting, we have symposium talk about this, and we have lots of therapists all over the world. This method, those method, and so on. We're still learning about this, and we still to consolidate all this what you call way of dealing with these kids as much as possible. So we still in journey. We haven't concluded yet, and I believe at this point I have lots of things to do, lots of things to learn, lots of things to explore, and I believe the process going to be go on. I still remember Prof. Fazah, the one who actually is one of the rehabilitation specialists in my center before. He said, Adli, this is not one point diagnosis. It's going to be a marathon for you.
Wow.
You are marathon runner, Adli, remember? So it's going not to be finished. It's going to be lots of things along the way. So we're going to settle one by one. That strike me, I think, okay, this is not one point. You give one therapy, it will settle the problem. No.
Yeah.
You get other thing that to settle.
Absolutely.
So that's why I meet you, Yovi. I meet you and think, wow, this is interesting. Music therapy, why don't we explore and see what we can improve him? So this is how we navigate along the way.
Dewasa bulan Ramadan, kita berpuasa hingga sebulan. Bila Syawal berjelma, hari raya disambut dengan gembira. Selamat kami ucapkan untuk ibadah bersama nama.
Or are there any proud moments as a dad?
When he stand on stage and receive awards for not one, few times.
Yeah.
And then you always surprised, he's already on stage and people mention his name.
Yeah.
And then when you mention his name, Aidil Azam bin Adli Azam, it's your name on the stage.
Yeah.
I think that's the proud moment because it's your son.
Yeah. Whatever that he does,
It's
just
reflect to you.
I think one of the things that we are doing this is so that we want to bring a message of hope to other families, other parents who might be on the same journey as well. So are there any advice that you can give to, say, parents who are new on this journey, who might just found out about their child's diagnosis? What are some of the advices that you can give them?
Being a parent, many years already, I would say, with dealing with Alim and autistic. If you are new in this, you should see this as a bless from God. Then the difficulty after that going to be easier. if you see this thing, you start with difficulty. It's going to be difficult for the rest of your life. If you think this is a blessed from the God, then difficulty will be a challenge for you to handle, and you will take it positively, and you know that God will help you. But it's always happened. And when you feel that you lost hope, you have no ways of doing things, and God, please help me, and the path will open up for you. And it always open up for you when in very unexpected manners. If you, so for example, you hope it will be at this level, but when God gives you, it will be more than that. So you want to believe on yourself, or do you want to believe in God? So I mean, being a Muslim, it sounds a bit religious, but I'm not that religious anyway. But I think you should see that divine intervention is important. I mean, God sent the kids to you to make you a better person.
So last but not least, what is one key message if you can have for anyone who's currently supporting an autistic child? It could be a parent, a teacher, therapist, or just the public, anything about the autism. What would that be?
I think we are together in this. I cannot work alone. You cannot work alone. I mean, the people need to know about this, the society, so the awareness, and be open and talk about this. And then when we support each other, we know that our community will grow. And you never know, because autism during my school time, I never heard about it. Even my medical student time, which is more than 20 years ago, we didn't talk about it seriously. We only talk about it, I think maybe less than 10 years. So it's a new thing. New thing takes time to, to be table in the society and so on. So if you want to make it easier, you have to make it faster. And you always about working together rather than work solely isolated and so on. I think that's the most important thing. You are involved in this, we should work together.
Thank you so much for watching this episode with Aalim and Dr. Adli. If you find this episode helpful or encouraging in any way, help us to share with more people so that it can reach more families that are in need. As for next week, we have a pair of very captivating brothers. It is a story and experience of how an older brother that has really sacrificed to support his younger autistic brother. And I am personally very touched by their story, and I hope you will too. So that will be coming out on next week. So please don't miss out, and we'll see you then.
Alim, Abah ada surat untuk Alim. Kelahiranmu dulu, ketika waktu tahajud, ketika sang abid khusyuk bersujud, malaikat memajri dunia umpama laut, doa di pohon bakal makbul dan terpaut. Lisanmu ditasnik dua ulama besar, tanda keberkatan pasti tidak tersasar. Iman yang teguh pasti tidak berpusar. Anak yang soleh pun mana Abah nanti ketika kusar. Tapi hidup Adim terlalu istimewa. Tidak ramai yang mampu faham kesemua. Pahit maun mendatang ditelan bersama. Jangan risau, Abah di samping sentiasa ada. Dunia ini tidak mampu bersikap adil. Ada yang baik, ramai yang degil. Tenangkanlah hati Alim, kurangkanlah muskil. Abah sentiasa di sisi, sedia dipanggil. Abah sayang Alim. Nanti Alim pasti akan ke syurga. Jangan pula lupa Abah di sana. Carilah Abah betul-betul sampai jumpa. Boleh kita hidup bersama, bahagia selamanya. Okey Alim?